Today we're talking about crypto cloud mining. I'm going to go over a platform that I've been using to give you an example of what it all looks like and how you can get started for free. I'm also going to go over the difference between cloud mining and normal mining, the benefits of both, and scams to watch out for. All right, let's get into it. Okay, real quick. So just to break it down a lot more simply, we'll just cover Bitcoin. So what is Bitcoin mining? Essentially when transactions are entered onto the blockchain. Miners using hardware and software generate a cryptographic number equal to or lesser than a number set by Bitcoin's algorithm. Basically, the first miner that successfully finds this number is going to get that whole reward. The block gets assigned that information, and then it gets put through a cryptographic algorithm, also known as hashing. And the result of this is a 64-digit hexadecimal number. So if you were to set up your own mining farm at home, it may look a little bit like this, and you're going to have to constantly monitor your units, make sure they're not overheating, monitor your electricity coming in, make sure your Wi-Fi is up and running. Now there are some companies out there that specialize and produce or mine Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in the masses, which if you understand how business works, if you have huge funding, you're able to get more quantity for less, therefore making it more efficient and more profitable than it would be for the everyday person just sitting at home. And what they offer with cloud mining is essentially they take all these responsibilities of the electricity, of the operations, of it being up and running, of supplying the hardware and the software and setting it all up. All you do is simply purchase plan. They're going to mine the Bitcoin for you, and once it's done, they send it to your wallet. So the difference here being you essentially rent the computing power, and the company will cover the hardware, the software, and other related issues that could cause downtime for you when you're just doing it on your own, and they will ensure a certain percentage. It's usually like 99% uptime run rate, so you are ensured that it will be running at all times. Now I really want to stress practicing due diligence when it comes to crypto cloud mining and their services. If you don't do any of your research and you just trust articles or videos, ironically with me saying this, but something like this could happen to you, and it happens like that. So right here we have an article, which is cloud mining really profitable? The top 4 services. The 4 most trustworthy services that offer this. Now I just want to highlight that first thing that we're going to notice right here is that TechPoint Africa. It's a weird website name. Not gonna lie. I wonder if they're targeting people living in Africa. Who knows? So coming on right away, we're going to see an advertisement for GD mining. Right under that, which was sneakily hidden from us as we load up this page, is that the information purpose only and should not be interpreted as financial investment guidance. So it basically breaks down all the basics of what cloud mining and Bitcoin mining and crypto mining is here. And then coming down, we'll see what they highlight as the top 4 services that you're going to be able to use. Now, you'll notice that only this one has a link to the website on it, and it's also the only one they state that is free. I'd also like to highlight that 2% being a price for anything does not make sense. I don't know if they're implying that we're going to get the service and get 98% profit for free. But anyways, at the first glance, scrolling through, this website does seem to look pretty legitimate to a beginner. And these 3 cloud mining services that they highlight here are legitimate services. So it gives you an impression that, oh, I've heard about these ones before. I know I can trust them. They are good. But these people are highlighting this one that much more. Because it's weird that the article is so much bigger for just this GD mining, and how much they highlight all the advantages and how much you'll earn. Now, and just to highlight how fast this really can happen, this article was posted November 11th of 2024. It is now January 11th of 2025, And if you proceed to try and go to GD mining, as you can see, the site can't be reached. Probably because it was a scam and it got shut down. Now, upon a little bit more research, here's a couple other things that you can notice. So if I were to pursue this a little bit more, looking down here, there's all these articles for GD mining, highlighting how it's a secure, risk-free cloud mining contract, etc., etc. And there's even this video right here where they actually threw and highlight this mining service where over 18,000 people actually viewed it. And this is a pretty trusted guy. As you can see, he has 53,000 subscribers. But as you can see, even this link here, when we try to go to the page, it is shut down, entailing that it was a scam. They either got caught or they got their money and they got it. Now, I just really wanted to stress this because if you are a beginner, it is really that simple to get scammed. So please have your due diligence. Look into the company a little bit. If I come over to see GD mining here and I actually look on Google Maps, it's supposedly running out of one of these little houses in Wales. Maybe they run it out of here. But if you look at their office, they claim that their office is much bigger. And their mining servers, definitely legitimate. The photo of it definitely does not just look like stock footage. That is, I'm joking. It's just, all of it is very, very bad. Also try reaching out to the phone numbers, look into the CEOs, make sure they're actual people. Every legitimate service will have a customer support. If you cannot reach out to the customer support and get genuine feedback, more likely than not, it's a scam. One other key detail in these scams is that a lot of these companies, to make it more believable, if you wanted to test it and you put $10 in and wait a month and come back and withdraw it, they'll actually send you that initial withdrawal of say $20 or $30. And then once you start to believe more that it is legitimate and you put a couple $100 in, you will never see that money or any other money ever again. And all that is a really big reason for me to be excited to show you guys today one of my personal favorite platforms, where I turned from a 45-day rental of $300 into what is now $1,200. I believe it's one of the strongest and the most world-renowned cloud mining services out there. And you can actually get started with them and start to grow your portfolio for free, or you can just invest if you don't want to wait forever to get up to that nice little threshold. So really quick to break down all the transactions for you before I show you how this whole platform works. I'm going to say my most expensive adventure with them so far has been this X19XP 45-day rental. Okay, so if we are to do the math real quick here, if we take 5268, multiply it by 3, and then I'm going to add, let's just call it, that's 32, 37, and 11. So the service for this cost me $238 in total. All right, so with that, all the service fees comes to a total of $238. And they do have an upfront initial hash rate fee. So for this one, as we can see here, I purchased the hash rate fee for an additional, we'll say $105. And this was the first service fee charge that you just saw. Now, I was also able to acquire and use a $15 coupon, so that's always just free money in your pocket that they do hand out quite generously on BitFuFu. So adding that additional 105, oh great, 105 plus 205 plus 2 would leave me with an addition, with the initial cost of $343, subtracting 15, which is going to give us around $328. So then of that $328, after 45 days of mining, they paid me out 0.0114 Bitcoin, which at that time was the equivalent of $434. So we're looking at about $100 profit. Also, you could look at it like a 30% profit in 45 days from this service. But if we go check now, and I take this fancy little number here and drop it in, What was the equivalent of $430 is now $1,100. So just for reference, if we took 328 and divide it by 1,077 here, we're actually going to get a percentage of how much we've accrued on the investment. So if you take the 0 away here, you're going to see that since that purchase, it's seen 300% return. So that's pretty good. Now there's some other really exciting news that I wanted to cover that I just noticed. As you can see at the bottom here, it is currently Wednesday, January 8th for me. And Wednesday, January 8th, this article came out that BitFuFu has actually created their own operating system. So now implementing this, BitFuFu OS is enabling users to mine up to 20% more than you just saw I was. So that's actually very exciting news, and I do expect it to slowly reflect in their stock price. Now, one more thing to point out is they're awesome on their delivery. As you can see, I actually received 7 terahertz more than I was supposed to. And if you know about crypto mining, you know these machines have to go down sometimes. They have to be serviced. They can start overheating. It's just the name of the game. So when these things do happen, you can see that every time there was an interruption duration of mainly 1 hour, or except for this first one where it was 4 hours, they will completely compensate you for everything that you did not get, plus a little bit more. And I mean like a really little bit, like 0.01, but they're good like that. Now we're going to jump over to my phone in a second, because that is actually how the application was rolled out and how it's supposed to be used, which is on your phone. The website is good, but it's not as good. So everybody signing up is going to get a free miner. As you can see, mine around $8 in profit. Now, when I signed up, I was unaware that the first day that you complete your KYC, they were offering a promotion to double all incomes. So if I was thinking, I would have done that first, then got my free miner, which would have been a $16 payout. And then I actually would have got they usually have a 1-day new user miner. That's about $5. That's going to pay you out like $8. I'd get both of those going. So pretty much for next to nothing, I would have $50 in my account the next day. And then you can just take that and reinvest it and just keep mining and growing. It's great. Getting to their app here, it's extremely user-friendly, so this will not take long at all. After getting everything set up and doing your KYC verification, which I recommend you don't have to, and getting your free miner running, you're going to notice right off the bat this exclusive newcomer plan right here, which is going to pay out at about 142%, but it only runs for 1 day. So this is going to provide you with 100 terahertz for 1 day, and they are waiving the hash rate fee on this. So you only have to pay the service fee on this. So it's a cool couple bucks to get a bonus started. But there's just so many more. So coming down to plans, other than the exclusive plan, are these other options for cloud mining. So as you can see here, you're going to be using the S19 XP, and it's set for a certain amount of days. So say you wanted to rent a miner for just 90 days, you'd come down to this option here and select that. And coming down here, you're going to notice a couple different features. Number one, this first amount to be paid is the hash rate fee in the first 10 days of service. Throughout the rest of the time that the miner is running, it will be required another $99 to complete all the service fees. By the end here, we should have 0.00156600 Bitcoin, which is going to be the minimum that you're going to get. The odds are is you will get slightly more. Now the net output is based off of this reference point here. So they are referencing that Bitcoin will be at $120,000 in 90 days. So adjusting that is how you're going to get a more accurate payout representation. Coming over here to the discounts, we see we have a couple different coupons, but to use them, the actual plan has to be over these minimums here. So this one stands out quite a bit to me, as it is a 15% discount, and it's applicable when the hash rate fee is over $200. So if I wanted to actually be able to access this, all we have to do is come down to here and we're going to increase the terahertz that this miner is going to provide. So getting up to 140 terahertz, we're going to be getting paid out about 3.5 times more than what we saw before, and the fee is going to cost around 3.5 times more. But now, as you can see here, the hash rate fee coupon has been applied, so that is going to give us an additional $30 by the end of the whole process. Now, if you want a really easy, straightforward way to get into this, there is also the easy miners. Everything is set up for you for 3 days, 10 days, 28 days, or 50 days. This is a hassle way free of just setting it and forgetting it, essentially. So this is a 3-day miner, so let's put Bitcoin at where it's actually at. So after the 3 days, we're looking at getting about a $7 payout. And once it's done, the set amount of Bitcoin, potentially a little bit more, will just be sent straight to your wallet without any transaction fees. Now, the main difference between the easy mining and the pro mining is you pay your service fees along the way. So the market is due to price fluctuations. So depending, the service fee can either go down, which will then net more, or potentially it could go up as well. Where the easy plan, you pay it all in a lump sum at first, and by the end of the time, you're going to get rewarded with the Bitcoin allocated. One key feature about this is if you are acquiring Bitcoin, more often than not, there's a transaction fee of a couple dollars, and it can get upwards to the tens, the hundreds. It depends on the amount that you're buying. Where if you are to mine it, there is no transaction fee. They do not charge you a gas fee to send it to your wallet. So you save that portion as well. It can really get annoying having to get those little transaction fees because your profit margins are less than what it says it is. But you can't really tell. Now, BitFuFu also has a tier system where you can see I'm right on the brink of VIP2 here. Basically, the more you use the platform, the more you mine, the more points you will get. And eventually, you can get up to VIP2, 3, 4, and even 5. Where they're just going to offer you different rewards, better rewards, and you get more of these privileges. One other thing to be noted is be mindful of claiming the coupons, as they do have an expiration date. So their whole system runs off of Fufu points, which is $1 USD per point, and you just buy the points, which if you have a pretty significant cashback reward plan, it can actually be more of a benefit to you. And then you take those points and buy the miners with it. They also have a program called Fufu Earns, where if you participate in active promotions, you will also get rewarded with the points that then goes into the miners. So as you can see here, I was involved in one of them and I received about $16. So all in all, I've run about 5 different miners on here, the easy miners and the pro miners, with my smallest one here being a 10-day easy miner that I got 0.0009 Bitcoin, and my biggest one was a pro miner 45-day rental where I got 0.011 Bitcoin. All in all, I was paid out 0.018. All in all, I've been paid out 0.0183 Bitcoin, which at the time was valued at about $700. And right now, it would be valued at about 250% of what we see here. Now, they do also offer a service where you can go on the website, download a program, and turn your actual computer into a node or a miner. You're also able to rent that miner out to other people if you so choose to. And you can actually just rent one of their miners for a year or a year and a half as well down here. So as you can see, it would be around $1,900 with an expected net output of 0.043 Bitcoin, with the break-even date being 350 days out of the 540 days. So that means for the last 190 days, you should be getting that whole hash rate for free. You still do pay a service charge, but that is your break-even point. Now, pretty much everything is going to be able to have a coupon available for it. So you can pretty much always look at that as just a little bit of extra profit. So I would see this as $60 extra profit on this 540-day endeavor. I just wanted to highlight this today because I do believe it can be a great investment avenue. There's a lot of pros and cons that come with it, and it is a little sketchy getting started at first. There are scams out there, so please actively do your research, because as we know, when crypto's gone, it's gone. Also, because there's quite a bit of pros and a couple of cons that come along with BitFuFu, like that they are publicly listed on the NASDAQ, which adds a whole nother layer of transparency and trust. They're partnered with Bitmain, which is the biggest player when it comes to crypto mining. They currently own the most machines, the largest market cap. It's really accessible, mainly being a mobile app, so you can use it anywhere in the world, and they are available in over 170 countries. And they're actually partnered up with a lot of renewable energy farms to try and keep their carbon footprint down, which is always awesome. It's very cost effective. You can start with next to no money, or you could put $1 million in today if you wanted. Your earnings constantly get paid out once they reach a certain threshold, so it's not like they're locked up. You can actually use Bitcoin if you need to and sell it to pay for the outstanding service fees if you get one of those pro miners. And they also have a lot of promotions and flexibility that they offer to us, the users. There are some cons that come with it though. For one, your profitability all depends essentially on Bitcoin's price. So if I were to come in and they expect it to go to $120,000 and I buy their set amount at that price, and say it drops and it's at like 75,000, then essentially I've lost money and I will either have to hold that Bitcoin or just take my losses and sell it. And with that being said too, crypto is kind of volatile. So when it comes to cloud mining, you almost want to time when you buy your unit when Bitcoin is hopefully at its lowest that it will be in the next set amount of time, and then when it pays out, hopefully it's higher than you expected. It is also dependent on trust. Now, they are a trustworthy company, but you can't actively monitor, like actually see your unit that you're renting. You're just assuming that everything is going to go great and you'll get your Bitcoin at your end, which you do, but there's always that factor. And also, once you set up your miner, it's kind of out of your control, so you can't tweak the mining settings afterwards. So then if you are unable to pay the service fee in a set amount of time, then it will stop operating until you reactivate it, but the time that you've rented it for still counts down. Is cloud mining and BitFuFu worth it? If you're looking for a low risk way to dip your toes into Bitcoin and crypto mining without dealing with all the technical side, I'd say it's a great fit. Especially with my promo code, you're going to get a couple extra coupons and an additional kickback on all your hash rate fees for the first 60 to 150 days, depending on how much you invest. But please remember, crypto is volatile, so do not invest anything that you cannot afford to lose. All right, everybody, that about wraps it up for today. If you found this helpful, smash that like button so I know, and subscribe for future updates and tips. And if you have any more questions about BitFuFu and crypto mining, just drop it in the comments. I try to read all of them. I promise I'll reply soon. And if you are interested, don't miss out on the promo boost with the link in the description. There's no point in it. All right, everybody, until next time, stay smart, stay curious, and keep acquiring assets.